Shit. see.
She had a phone in her hand with keys and everything. She wanted, I know to keep the rings, the phone. And I was like on the keys because I didn't want to go anywhere. And my big fear is, I don't have my phone. I don't have a phone. So she goes off without me. But, all right, I'm on my own. So I was saying, let's just go for a walk. And she was trying to get the keys for me. So I just go, just wait back up. And I didn't get, I don't want to push you, I didn't get completely physical. I'm just trying to keep her away and not get hit. And then I got really loud and I just like, cleared his attention where I was going. Back up, get away, excuse me. Okay, so you said you pushed her to create some distance. What happened after that? What got distracted? Okay, Google. Police, how are you? Hey, we got this van stopped, and we've separated the male and the female, and we got both of their stories. Now that we're not looking for them so intensely, I was just wondering if you had a minute to just kind of repeat to me what it is exactly you saw. No problem, sir. Yeah, so I was talking to my friend off the street in the Forest Service building, and I just noticed that the couple was sort of arguing a bit, and I wasn't staring at them, but it did catch my attention. And what I noticed is it seemed like they were sort of squabbling over a phone. I want to say that he was trying to grab her phone, and I'm not sure exactly why. And then it seems like he had sort of blocked the one side of the van and sort of wasn't letting her in. And then the male was stepping into the driver's seat, and she was trying to get into the van. I think he said something about why you being so mean, something like that. And I remember he sort of kicked him a few times, and it wasn't like blood in the face, it was just kind of like two kids kind of fighting. It reminded me of very mature, I don't know, children sort of fighting. But there seemed like something was off, and it seemed like a weird vibe. And eventually it seemed like she crawled into the driver's seat, sort of like got into the vehicle over his lap, sort of forced her way in, I guess. And then they were in the car and they just drove away. So I wasn't sure what the nature of the argument was or what. It just seems like there was some sort of disagreement and some sort of like shutting. I don't know why she would have entered through the driver's door. I thought that was strange. And so I thought about calling it in, but as soon as I walked in this bar, another gentleman was already calling it in. So I was like, oh, good on you. That seems a bit off. I wasn't supposed to do in that situation, but that's what I saw. And if there's any other specific questions, I'm happy to try to answer. Did you ever see the male strike the female? I would say that I think I saw maybe a foot or so, but not like a full on touch to the face or anything. Was the shove was the shove or push an aggression towards her, or was it a defensive maneuver away from her or to get her away from him? That's a good question. It was unclear what was going on to me, but it did seem like he was It seemed like he was trying to close off the passenger side of the vehicle and close things up. It almost seemed like he put that backpack or something on the back of the vehicle, I'm not sure. And then he was stepping in and she was out trying to get in. So maybe,
Okay.
I don't, it was, the whole thing was off. And so, no, I didn't see anything that was like him chasing after her or hitting her or vice versa. It was kind of light and they were almost kind of laughing. And I wasn't sure if they were just joking around, to be honest. But then it got more strange as he was in the vehicle about to drive off.
But you did see her slapping him, though, it sounds like.
Yeah, it was like, my memory is he was in the driver's seat and he has the driver's door open and she's like kind of hitting him either in the arm or maybe on the face, maybe with an open hand, like, hey, let me in, don't be a jerk, something like that.
Okay. Well, your story is really, really helpful because you're an independent witness, and we've just interviewed both of them. And what you're saying is making everything make a lot of sense. So I really appreciate that I ran into you and that I was able to get your number and talk to you. So thank you very much. If we need to ask for a written statement, obviously it's voluntary, it's helpful. But at this point, I don't know if we need to go that far unless you're around and super willing at this moment. I can meet you and get a statement.
Yeah, no, I live here, totally willing to do that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I can go write it down now before memory fades. Like I said, I was kind of just casually observing, but something did seem off, and just wanted to make sure that no one was in a bad situation. So,
where can we find you to give you a form real quick? In about 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, cool. All right,
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, Robin. So I just got off the phone with one of the two witnesses, and I recorded it. You want me to tell you what he said? Real quick? Do you mind hanging with him for a bit? So, we'll get away from both of them. So, he said that he never saw the male strike the female. He saw the male trying to lock her out of the vehicle. She even told us that he was trying to lock her out, told her to go take a walk. Said that she was trying to get in. She eventually couldn't get in and actually clawed her way in through the driver's door. He says, I don't understand why she's doing that. Well, I think it's because it was the only door that wasn't locked that she could get through. So she's trying to get in over him. He's trying to disengage from her. I guess he hung her backpack on the back probably so she would have her shit so that he didn't have to engage with her. Everything she's saying is the same thing. I haven't heard what he said, but if that's what he said, it's also what the witness is saying. The witness says, I never saw him hit her. I saw him shove her, but I couldn't tell if it was an aggression against her or a defense against her as far as her, being the aggressor. So at this point, unless the guy's screaming that he needs to go to jail and did something to this girl, it sounds to me like she is the primary aggressor.
Yeah.
Now, the problem with her being the primary aggressor is in an instance of domestic assault, be it a male or be it a female, we shall arrest. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean they have to go to jail. We can do a citation if it meets one of three criteria, which one of them is that we can ensure that they're not going to further risk each other's safety. But the problem with that is they live in the same vehicle.
That's what I was going to say. The other part of it is
there's actually been injury to the victim, which is him.
Right. And I'm getting conflicting stories about why they hit the curb up here.
What did he say why he hit the curb?
Well, I watched, this is what I saw. I saw him cross the double yellow. I was doing 42 miles an hour. I don't know, probably 2 car lengths behind him, tapping my wheels at him, trying to get his attention. They knew I was behind him. And then after he crossed the double yellow, he merged over into the right lane. And then out of nowhere, just boom, I hit her.
So did he tell you why?
He said that she grabbed the wheel and turned it real hard. She said that she was hitting him in the arm. So
sounds legit. I mean, I'm sure if I'm driving and my arm's on the wheel and I'm getting hit in the arm, I'm probably pulling on the wheel.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was a little of both. I mean, usually the truth is somewhere between. He's probably trying not to say that he hit her because he probably doesn't want her charged with assault, domestic assault. He probably would rather say she pulled the wheel than hit him. You know what I mean? So, fortunately for her, we cannot treat, just because he's bigger and stronger, and even if he's not willing to press charges, we can't treat this differently than if it was a male and female violence.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to charge her. And we can do a citation if there's some arrangement that can be made to separate them, and then we have to let them know that there's no contact order in effect. And then we have to let him know the only way to drop it is to go into the police department during business hours and fill out a waiver, which, by the way, what's
It's
today?
too late
Thursday?
today.
So it won't be till tomorrow. And they're only there till noon, I think.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure he's going to want to drop it.
And all the other part of it is they said they've been on it for 4 or 5 months.
Well, this is really bad news. So let's talk to him first. Yeah. His name's Brian. Did you ask him yet and take pictures of him?
Yeah. No, I have to.
So Brian, unfortunately, in the state of Utah, we don't have discretion in some things. Like, for example, if I pull you over for speeding and I want to give you a warning, I can do that because it's under a Class A. It's a Class B or under. If I want to give you warnings for all kinds of stuff, I can. But there's a few things I can't. Like, when I say I, the police, I'm not in charge of this. One of the things that the state legislature doesn't give us discretion on is charges when it comes to a domestic assault. And it sounds like you guys are living together, so you meet the statute for domestic partners, and you do have injury, and both an independent witness, probably the next one we're going to talk to as well, which we haven't talked to yet, but the one we did talk to, and your own companion have made it clear that she was the primary aggressor, and that she was striking you and that you received injuries. You haven't admitted to striking her. She has not admitted to you striking her. The witness did not see you strike her. So at this point, you're the victim of a domestic assault. That even if you didn't want to pursue this, we don't have a choice. The best thing we could do to not, the law says we have to charge her. It doesn't say we have to put her in jail. Okay, but it also says we have to separate, do a no contact order, and that we have to put her in jail if we cannot separate. And there's a little problem here. Is you guys live out of Florida, living in the van together. How are we supposed to separate you guys? Now, I don't want to take this small 20. What is she?
Yes, a 22-year-old
female in jail. That you could definitely defend yourself against, but at the same time, we can't say because you're a male and she's a female, we can't treat this different than if you were the male hitting her. We got to treat it the same.
Yeah, no.
So she's kind of in a tough spot. So unless you have an idea about how she can not go to jail and be separated, do you have friends in town? Somewhere she can stay? Tomorrow, if you want to, it's up to you. You can go
to jail?
You can't because we don't have a charge for you. Now tomorrow, if you wanted to get with her again tomorrow,
take your radio.
if you want to be with her again tomorrow, because after 5, so our office is closed, you can go to the police department and fill out a waiver to drop the no contact order so you guys can still be together. But she's going to have a court date online in a week or two. She's going to have to show up for her court date online and answer. The prosecutor might drop it. They might say, for example, if you're not willing to pursue it, if that's your decision.
Yeah, anyway, I was going to say, it definitely is. I'm not going to pursue anything. She's my fiance. I love her. It's just a little squabble. I'm sorry that I had to get so public. So I just want to get like the checklist of things I got to do to get rid of it. Since
if you want her back, well, she'll get a paper with a court date.
How do I get rid of it?
Well, the court date has to be attended in order for them to decide whether they need to continue or drop it. The first is just an initial appearance to say, are you who we think you are? Yes. Do you understand the charge that's been brought against you? Yes or no? Yes or no? The answer. Do you have an attorney? Yes or no? Do you need one? And then from there, she can ask to speak to the prosecutor. The prosecutor might be contacting you and say, hey man, I know she's 110 pounds soaking wet and you're a big strong guy, and we understand you're not even wanting to pursue this, but the cops have to follow the statute. How, what in the interest of you, if justice for you, the victim, what do you think? And they can decide to still prosecute, or they can decide to drop it, or they can decide to give her a plea and make it kind of go away and she behaves from now on. But that still does not eliminate the first court appearance that she has to attend, which thankfully for you guys is going to be online. So if you're out of town, so here's the thing: if you're out of town and she doesn't come into our court appearance online, they can suspend her driver's license, they can issue a warrant for her. So she needs to play ball. And
yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And remember, a team. Me and her are a team. I'm sorry about all this. I apologize again. But so she's got her online court date. Just acknowledge that she's her, and then she's got the one for the.
Well, there's automatically right now there's something called a no contact order in place.
Yeah.
From this point forward until tomorrow, if you wish to drop it, you have to go into the 217 East Center Street, Moab City Police Department, and you have to ask them. We'll give it to you. You want to fill out a waiver that you're requesting a waiving of the contact order, the no contact order. The no contact order means she cannot come into contact with you, she cannot talk to you, she cannot text you, she cannot go onto any premises that you're occupying, she cannot go to your vehicle. And until you drop that, or until court date, if you don't drop it, it stays in effect until midnight on the day of court. And then that gives you time to get a protective order, a long-term one, if you feel like you need one. But it sounds like you don't even want this one. So tomorrow, they open at 8, you can go in the police department, you can fill out the waiver, they can remove it, then you can say, hey babe, where you at? Let me pick you up. And you can pick her up. Now, we're hoping not to put her in jail, but if she doesn't have somewhere to go tonight to be separate from you, then where are we supposed
I
to
can't
go?
talk to her now because it's
Because
separation.
there's no
Right?
contact order.
So tell me this: do you guys have enough money for like a hotel room or anything like that? What we could do is we'd cite her for this, and then I'd give her a ride over to whatever hotel you guys
I mean, you can pick her up there tomorrow if you want to know what they don't
on your way. Go pick her up, stop over there at their PD, sign the paperwork that they're requesting, and then you can go pick her up quite literally within minutes.
Unless you know someone else in town that's a friend that she can stay with.
You know, unfortunately not. I don't, and I guess that.
Yeah, sure hate to. I don't want her to go to jail.
But if she goes to jail, it's like that goes down somewhere instead of her going to a hotel, right? If you get the citation,
It kind of depends. So if she goes to jail, they're gonna book her. And they'll take her fingerprints. It's gonna go on her criminal history. And then if they don't convict her, then it will just show that it was dismissed. It'll show up in her criminal history, but the charge was dismissed. If she is found guilty, it'll show up that it was guilty of domestic assault. But the charge itself will show up on her criminal history until she gets it expunged. Now, even if we give her a ticket, we're still going to take a fingerprint, and it's still going to show up. Either way, it's still going to show up. There's no way around a Class A. Or is this Class B?
This is Class B.
But they do require a fingerprint on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
The other part is if you contact her, she contacts you, she can be charged with a Class B,
well,
which is a little bit different, but it doesn't help the city.
if you were to contact her and she responds to you, then she could get a new charge for violating no contact order. No contact order doesn't restrict you; it restricts her. So if you go talk to her and we find out you're not in trouble, she'll be in trouble. So it's in your interest to. Does that all make sense?
no, I'm getting it.
It's
Okay.
a lot, really quick.
No, I'm getting it. I'm just trying to figure out a way.
You don't know anyone in town? You guys been here how long?
No, I don't know anyone in town. If she went,
She could, I don't think CK will take her where she's the aggressor. It is a women's shelter.
I'm curious.
You can find out. Say she doesn't have where to go.
You can get the citation. Say she drove off and she could drive off in the car.
We could give you a ride somewhere.
So I got my backpack.
Sucks for you,
I
but
got my backpack.
you can spend a night.
You want to drive me to Delicate Art?
Does she have a good driver's license?
She's already has a driver's license.
You trust her with your vehicle, and
Yeah, she can.
well, then you'd kind of be homeless for the night around
And I
town.
mean, I can't talk to her at all. And
Well,
I've got to do the thing, so I can't go camping.
we can tell her what it is that she needs to do to get through all this, and then let her know what your plan is.
Here's the problem though. If we take you up to Delicate Arch, you're going to be hoofing it from Delicate Arch all the way down to Moab Center Street so that you can fill out that paperwork. Because if you're not there by tomorrow, you're going to be looking at Monday morning.
It's early out Fridays over the office. So
Yeah.
you won't be there.
You'd be looking at Monday morning before you could actually see her again.
And again, we're not trying to make your life hard. This is written in statute. There's nothing you can do about it. It's designed to protect victims of domestic assault. Not everybody's the same. This is different than normal, but we have to treat everything the same. And that's just how it is.
So you think you can't afford a hotel?
No?
Very little money we have for sure.
Hotels are expensive here. No.
You want me to? I'll call CK then.
Just see if CK will take her for the night.
I'll see if they'll take either one of them. Because then we can figure it out.
This is a women's shelter. Actually, CK will take him as a victim of domestic assault. CK will take you, and they will help you tomorrow.
And you're like a block and a half away from the PD.
Let's see if CK will take him, because they actually they didn't take a guy, but they got a hotel for a guy last time.
Yeah, I'll do that.
CK might get you a hotel. Now, what she does,
I might be sleeping outside in a sleeping bag.
no,
So, like, I don't need a
we don't
hotel.
want that.
I think
I'm just saying.
I think CK will get you a hotel. If you want her to have the van, we don't care. It's up to you. But there's nothing we can do about the rest.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I'm gonna get my. I'm gonna make it really bad.
You sweating to death yet?
I think we're good.
You good? I'm gonna talk to you real quick, but I've been talking so much, I gotta get some water. I'll be right back. Let me grab water. Now this is the water. It's cold water. Hell yeah. Okay, Gabby, when you grow up and you're a full-grown man, this is what you'll drink from. Plus, it's ice cold, and so I'm gonna drink from it. Sorry. You'll probably never be a full-grown man. Then you can do your curls. So, look, I'm gonna speak to you frankly. I have a daughter almost your age, and I'm looking at you not so much like a suspect, but also as kind of a victim, in the sense that you're dealing with some struggles emotionally and mentally at your age. Probably they'll work themselves out as you get older. There's a lot of angst at your age, and I remember being your age too. And hopefully it works itself out. But the stuff you did today that contributed to this, because you both contributed to this, is as a result of your inability to cope with the anxiety and the stress that you're having. So in a way, you're kind of a victim of this. I think you would have done better if you had the skills to do better. Right? You don't learn skills until you learn skills. You don't have enough life experience yet to know how to navigate everything. Like, I don't either, but I can navigate what happens. If I was in your shoes, I could tackle it different because I'm 39 years old. I've been through it. But I've got a lot of life lessons to learn still because I'm like my dad and my grandpa, they know stuff I don't know, right? They can do stuff I don't know. So in a way, I'm just letting you know that we sympathize with you. But based on what you've said and based on what our witnesses said, and even based on what your fiance has mentioned, trying his very hardest not to have you in any